Hello again, everyone. Scoons Comics here with another exciting, oh so thrilling comic book haul. Yes. How is everyone today? Happy Mother's Day. I am spending Mother's Day going through a bunch of comics, and my lovely wife is upstairs doing some schoolwork, some things for her job. So I'm leaving her be and going through some books. But happy Mother's Day to her. I have got a stack here, people. I got, as you can see behind me, I got some comic books out finally. They're all in disarray. I've got some things behind me. I had a big blank space on my wall, so I quickly put a portrait of Jeff Goldblum up to fill the space. Because, you know, I had it laying around. Because who doesn't have a portrait of international icon Jeff Goldblum just laying around? But anyway, let's see what I got here. I went to, there is a bookstore. There's a bookstore up in Michigan that has been advertising they have comic books for months now. And I've gone 3 times, and every time I go, the guy's like, my son-in-law hasn't gone through the books yet. They're not ready. And I'm like, okay, you just keep putting it on your Facebook page. So finally I emailed him when they put another ad up. And they had some pictures this time that they were up. So I'm like, are the comic books available? Yes. Like, okay, well, I'll come see. Bunch of nothing. They're all $3 a shot. Nothing worthwhile. I did find one gem, and I picked up 2 books, actually. So I picked up Firestorm number 100. Newsstand edition, which is also the final issue. I like to collect final issues. I like to collect newsstand. Newsstand, of course, with the barcode for those that are unaware. So that was a cool little book. $3, maybe a little overpay, but I wanted to give them something. And then they had the only real gem in the whole lot that I could find, Vision and Scarlet Witch number 12. First appearance of the children, in quotation marks, of the Vision and Scarlet Witch. It's a really nice copy for $3. Classic issue, so, you know, $6 on my lunch hour. Okay. Finally, my local half price had some new things, and I was really excited about that. Actually, okay, I'm gonna go over some stuff I got at the comic show first. Local comic show before the half price books. Local comic show is always feast or famine. A little more feast this time. I got some goodies. Again, the big draw of this comic show is everything's dirt cheap. For them, I mean, they have a lot of cheap books, I should say. Lots of long boxes. You can get like 5 books for $1. You just got to hunt and dig and hit elbows with people all day long. So here's some of the things that I got from this. This is my, I don't know, 8th copy of this dang book. Armageddon 2001 Special number 1. Newsstand edition. First appearance of Wave Rider. Who is Wave Rider? He's the equivalent of Silver Surfer in the DC universe. No one cares about this character. I like this character, and I'm convinced at some point in time he's going to be important to people. So anytime I see his first appearance for a quarter, I pick it up. But I have so many of these, it's hilarious. I picked this one up. Been looking for this for a long time, and it is in terrible shape. But again, this was like a quarter, so I'll look to upgrade this at some point in time. Doom 2099, issue 44, the last issue of this series. This book is terrible. The artwork on this is atrocious, but it's the last issue, and I like to collect last issues. And this one's a little harder to find. First time I've really seen this in the wild, so get that for a quarter. That's cool. Here's another book I pick up constantly, but I love it so much. Green Lantern 43, the prelude to the Blackest Night event. This wonderful cover by Doug Mann. Black Hand as a great villain in the Green Lantern series. I just love this book. It's a cool book. I got it for like a quarter. It's a little rough. I need to clean it up a little bit, but yes. The other great thing about this series, this sale, is that I can find stuff so cheap. So if there are things I would not have normally spent money on the newsstand to get, or at the comic shop to get, I can find them here for cheap. Example, Amazing Fantasy number 1000. Big square bound book. I would have never paid for what this retailed for. I don't even know. It's probably an $8 book, but I got it for like a quarter. So it's got some cool stories in here. There's a Neil Gaiman Spider-Man story in here just hiding. So that's really awesome. Yeah. John Romita Jr. cover. Very nice. What else did I find there? I found American Vampire #1. Scott Snyder's claim to fame before becoming big on Batman books. So that's really cool. I enjoyed this first issue, and I gotta either get myself a trade paperback or something. But this book was hot for a little while there, so to find this in the quarter bin was awesome. And man, I love finding series that I never knew existed by writers I enjoy or artists I enjoy. Here's Chuck Dixon, one of my favorite writers, doing a book called Claw, the Unconquered. It's very much a Conan ripoff. Well, I shouldn't say a ripoff. It's sword and sorcery, the wandering barbarian king, your damsels in distress. I got the first 3 issues of this. It's a lot of fun. I love Chuck Dixon's work. He's a really fun writer. And find these, you just never know what you're going to find. And to find something fun to read, awesome. Okay, and as always, I'm forever digging for DC Universe logo books. Forever. And I haven't found anything in the wild in forever. Until this show and half-price books recently. I finally found a few things. I found a lot of doubles, but I've been so desperate to get some DCU books that I snatched them up. Usually I'll leave the ones that are more common for other people. Not this time. I snatched them up. I'm going to use them as trade baits, sell them. I'm not sure, but I wanted them. But I found a few things I did not have, and that was very exciting. So first of all, this is not the DC Universe logo, but it's Action Comics 693. It's got the Bullet logo, DC Bullet logo. For whatever reason, I don't like these as much as the DC Universe books, but I know these are harder to find, still kind of rare, so I picked that up in the quarter bin. Now for the DCU books. Superman #90. Oh yeah, look at that glorious DC Universe logo. I actually thought I had this, but I did not. So that was really exciting. I had this on my list as something that I owned, but if I own it, I did not find it in my boxes of DCU books. So I don't think I have this. So that was really cool. Again, for those of you unaware, the DC Universe logo books, these were reprinted multi-pack books that came to like Toys R Us and Walmart's. They're just really hard to find. Some of these are extremely rare. This one's a little bit more common, but still, you've got to hunt for these things. So that was really exciting to find. Here's issue 86 of Superman. Beautiful Dan Jurgens art, DCU logo. Found Justice League America 85. I've never find these Justice League books, so that was really awesome. Or really cool, because it's ice. It's cold cover. Cool. Jeff Goldblum. Anyway, DCU book. Very awesome. Man, then I found another vendor. So these weren't $1, but these were, this was like $5. And I don't think this guy knew what he had. But this is Green Lantern #47. DC Universe. Oh, you know what? It was $8. But I don't think I paid $8. I think he gave me a discount when all was said and done. I'll show you a couple other books I got here. But so I've been looking for this one for a long time. Finally found it in the wild. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. And then I have this book, but it's so cool that he had it for a few bucks, and I picked it up again. Green Lantern 50, DC Universe logo variant. Hal Jordan snaps and becomes the evil Parallax. This cover glows in the dark. It screams 90s fun. He also had a bunch of $2 books, and this book is beat up. I need to clean it. But it's a price variant. Amazing Spider-Man 159. Now, this is... I know a lot of you know what the price variants are if you're watching this channel, but if you don't, the books at this time were like a quarter. Marvel rolled them out into certain markets at a higher price, in this case 30 cents, to see how sales would be. If the comic book buying public could stomach spending another nickel on their comic books. And I picked these up. I only have a handful of these because they're pretty expensive now. But this one was $2, and it's a Spider-Man book. So that was really neat to find. Oh, I got to clean this up. But that's a really fun $2 book. And then I've been obsessed with, as most nerds are right now, the new X-Men cartoon on Disney Plus, X-Men 97. Everyone's had X-Men on the brain. And this was a key from the 90s that I just didn't have. And I keep looking for it at like half price to find it cheap, and I just couldn't find it. And so finally, this guy had a decent deal. I talked him down with these Green Lanterns. I think I paid $40 for this. Uncanny X-Men 221, First Mr. Sinister. Yeah, he had a price tag of $80 on this, so I got it half price. So I've wanted this for a long time. The problem with this book is it doesn't have a good cover appearance of Mr. Sinister. Like, cover's fine, it's great, but it's not iconic cover, you know? But First Mr. Sinister, awesome villain. X-Men cartoon's great. Cool. All right. Local half price. Finally had some new books. I knew that because I went and glanced, and the first thing I see is this looking up at me. Fantastic Four 180, Jack Kirby cover from the 70s. I like to collect the Kirby covers from the 70s. This one is also beat up, but I got it for $1.50. So I'll pick up Jack Kirby Fantastic Four for $1.50 all day long. So they had that. We had the reintroduction of Supergirl in the DC Comics, Superman and Batman #8. Ooh. And they had the first issue of Super Sons, the children of Batman and Superman. That made it kind of sound like Batman and Superman were a couple and these are their children, which would be an amazing book. But no, this Superboy here is the son of Lois Lane and Clark Kent. And Damian Wayne here, Robin, is the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul, for those of you that need to know these things. Man, I got a couple of these, but when I found it for $1.50 at half price, got to pick that up. Incredible Hulk and Wolverine #1, reprinting the first appearance of Wolverine. Awesome book. That's cool to have. God, look at that book. Doesn't that make you want to just read it right now? That's great. And the book that made me curse out loud at half price with joy. I do that often, and I always think I'm just nuts. I'm sorry, everyone. It's a book I have, but it's really hard to find. This is actually the first DC Universe book that I ever found, and this one's in nicer shape. And also one of my favorite books, Green Lantern #51, second print. So there's your second print right there, Roman numeral 2. The other copy's got a white letterhead here. This one's yellow, I do believe. The first print has white. This is yellow, obviously. And it's a DC Universe logo book. Awesome book to find. I knew exactly what it was, just thumbing through the books, and I cursed loudly and said, yes, this is mine. Second copy of this. I love this book. I love Kyle Rayner. He's one of my favorite characters. That's Green Lantern here. Very, very, very cool. And my big purchase from half price, I'm starting to get in. I had just watched, the wife sent me a TikTok about this guy who collects omnibuses, the big giant collections of comics. I have a handful of omnibuses, but they're so unwieldy and hard to read because you can't just thumb through there. I'll show you. But I really, really wanted to get, this guy had the Green Lantern omnibuses of books written by Jeff Johns. I love that run. It's so good. And I have most of them as floppies, individual comic books. But I really like the idea of having a nice hardbound collection on my bookshelf. And half price books had the first one. And these things retail for like $125. I'll just show it. Here we go. Look at this beast. Look at this beast. My God. So they retail for like $125. They had this down for like $65. And I hesitated because I'm nuts. Because I don't like to, I'd like to spend $1.50 on things. $65 is a great deal, but that's a lot of money to spend. And I hemmed and hawed to the point that I left half price without it. I walked into the parking lot thinking I would get it cheaper somewhere. I'd go on eBay and see if I could find it for $10 less maybe. I'm not going to. I'm looking on eBay on my phone. It's not. This is the best deal I was going to find. Why was I leaving it behind? So I literally just turned around in the parking lot, walked back in, plopped down my monies, and now this giant beast is mine. Yes. Beautiful Alex Ross cover. Jeff Johns, Omnibus, first volume. There we go. Looks better now. That's awesome. This is very difficult to read because it's huge, and I've almost crushed myself several times. But it's a cool book. So, yay. Love comics. All right, that's what I got this time, people. Be well, be safe, and I will see you soon.